Friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over 7 things that you should not buy in your 20s. The premise of my argument is that the money we make now is more important than the money we will make in 40 years when we're 65. The reason for that is because we have 40 years to invest and let compound interest do its work. Now, I'm not saying by any means that you should not enjoy your time in your 20s. You should. There should just be a fine balance of enjoyment and savings as well. You don't want to be on either extreme. You don't want to be 65 and have all this money, but you're too old to spend it, and you don't want to be blowing all your money when you're young. So you really need to find that balance, and it's going to depend on your situation what that's going to look like financially. But anyways, let's get into these 7 things that I think that you should not spend money on in your 20s. The first one is going to be very controversial considering it's my business full-time outside of this. Don't buy a dog, okay? Or an animal. Well, cats I guess might be a little bit better than dogs, but do not buy a dog. Let me tell you why. They're super expensive to take care of. All of my clients, for the most part, are wealthier. They're in their 40s and 50s, and they pay for me to walk their dog every day. Sometimes they pay doggy daycare services. When they go away, they're paying $70 a night to board them. People in your 20s who are traveling a lot and working a lot do not need a dog. That dog will not be well taken care of during the day when you're not there, or it'll be really expensive to take care of them in the way that you want to. Seriously, this can really add up. Think about the costs. If you buy a purebred, let's say you buy a purebred golden retriever, anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 just to buy the dog. Now you have all the fees. When you take it to the vet, you have to get the shots. Anytime they go to the vet, that's another bill. If you're working full time, then you need somebody to walk the dog, or you need to go to doggy daycare. Whenever you end up going traveling, it all adds up, okay? People don't understand what they are getting into when they get into dogs. I just got a request the other day from a client. She's working full time, and she's a student full time, and she needs somebody to watch her puppy, her brand new 2-month-old puppy. And I can only think, why? Why would you get a dog at that stage in your life? Wait till you have kids. Wait till you're a little bit older. I know you probably want to enjoy some time with somebody if you don't have a partner when you're younger. Go on Rover, make some money to walk other people's dogs, or do what I do, go to my parents' house and spend time with your dog if you can do that. Or go to your friend's house. It doesn't need to be your dog. Don't worry about taking care of the responsibility in your 20s. Leave that for a little later when you're more secure, you're not traveling as much, and you have a little bit more money. Expensive car leases, okay? I've talked about this before, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on this in the future, but I see a lot of people my age falling into the trap that they need to buy a brand new car and that they need to spend $800 a month on a car payment. It's absolutely absurd. I'll do the math in another video, but take that $800 that you're putting into a car, buy a used car for half the price of a brand new one, and invest that $800 over the course of the next 30 years. That car is literally costing you millions, and nobody understands this. I really don't think you should buy a new car unless you have $1 million net worth. It doesn't make much sense. It's a depreciating asset, and it's not worth the money the $800 a month potentially that you could be investing now. Like I said, that will cost you millions in the future. Don't make that mistake. Buy a used car. Designer brands, they are not worth the money you are spending on them. Louis Vuitton, Versace, Gucci, all these brands are really expensive and they're not worth the price. $900 for a Balenciaga t-shirt that you could probably get at H&M for a similar quality, it's not worth it. Don't buy expensive, flashy clothes like that. Buy things that are more minimalist. $40 at Zara. Keep it super simple. I get most of my clothes at Zara and H&M because it's not worth the price. First class flights. Obviously, they're really nice, but I don't think you should be purchasing them in your 20s, okay? Now let me explain. Okay, I have to admit, have flown first class one time, and it was a fluke. They messed up our flights. I ended up only being able to upgrade for like another $200. It was a no-brainer to do it. And actually, funny story, Selena Gomez was sitting behind me on that flight. All of my friends met her. It was crazy. My friend pulled her luggage down. We all melted. It was crazy. So maybe if you want to meet famous people, you should buy expensive flights. But don't do it, okay? Once you fly first class, you're not going to want to go back to flying economy. And really, I think that money in your 20s is better spent just, saving it and investing it. And once you're 35 and you have a decent net worth and you're really, growing your wealth, then maybe consider it. But it's really hard to go back from first class. So just be very careful before you start buying first class flights. Expensive vacations. Okay, I've been a victim of this myself, but let's do some math here. Let's say you're taking home $70,000 a year after taxes, which I would say is probably pretty high, but let's use that for a metric. And let's say you're spending $4,000 on a vacation, which I know it sounds kind of crazy, but if you're going to Europe for the summer, that's, $2,000 in flights, food, accommodations. That's not unreasonable to spend on a vacation. $4,000 of your 70 take home is 6% of your income for the year. When you think about it in terms of a ratio of your total income, that's pretty high. I would say be mindful about this. Obviously, if you're doing one trip a year, 5% of your income to spend for that year on a vacation isn't unreasonable. But just be very careful because these trips can get really expensive. I've probably fallen into that trap before as well. But just be mindful of what you're spending on vacation. Expensive hobbies you won't do again. Guys, all of these on the list are things that I've done before and I've had experience with. So I'm not casting any shame. I've done this. You know what? Actually, hold on. This is an expensive hobby that I did. I bought this wing for $2,000 when I thought I was going to get paragliding certified. Never ended up getting certified, and now it's just sitting in my closet, and I can't sell it. I've been trying to. No luck. Moral of the story is, do what you like. If you really like paragliding and you're going to stick with it, then do it. If you like jumping out of planes, do it. If you want to get your pilot's license, do it. But stick with it. And if you're really going to make a commitment to these expensive sports, even ones like scuba diving, I would say really just be mindful of the cost beforehand because it gets expensive really fast. New tech, okay? I've fallen into this one before as well. I used to get the new iPhone every 2 years in high school. My buddy and I would go and line up at 7 a.m. before they opened, and we would get the new phone. And it was really fun and exciting, but I look back and think that thousands of dollars that I spent on the iPhones when I only had a job maybe $20,000 a year because I was working part-time as a lifeguard, that would have been so much better invested and it would have brought me way more return than that happiness and joy that I had for that one small minute. I could have $5,000, $10,000 right now because of that iPhone. So what I've done here, instead of going every 2 years, we go every 3 years now, and sometimes I don't even get the brand new model. So these things can really add up. I mean, $1,100 every year for a brand new phone is a lot of money. So just be mindful of this one in particular because there's always something new and better that you can buy. Be really content with just having the old one until it's absolutely impossible to keep using it and it breaks. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my list of 7 things that you should not buy in your 20s. Leave a comment down below if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more content like this. I have a bunch of great videos coming out soon. I had to take a little bit more time to edit my how to make 6 figures a year walking dogs video. I'm really excited about that one. It should be coming out next week, and I put a lot of effort into it. So stay tuned for more. Really excited to see you in the next one.